Our videos are based only on real investigations and genuine heroes. We always have unique participants in events and UFO witnesses. But most importantly, our heroes are high-ranking people in uniform, and they have access to state secrets. Today we will look at the cases of UFO attacks by military aircraft and tell you about the details of these meetings. In the summer of 1974, Alexander Kopeikin made a regular flight to Borisogledsk to investigate the weather. Shortly before that, two strange objects were seen in the flight area, which then disappeared from view. And in the field of view of the locator, it means they are gone. They did not appear at the exit from this zone. They remained somewhere in the area of our airfield. And a black cloud formed over the airfield. The cloud looked quite harmless. The pilot did not find any thunderstorm activity, so he decided to get closer to the cloud. I gained an altitude of 4,500 meters. All the clouds ended, and this cloud was higher. One hung separately, and it was not blown away by the wind, although the wind at this altitude was about 50-60 kilometers per hour. As soon as the plane was near the cloud, it began to be thrown from the side to side, and an incredibly loud, unbearable sound appeared in the pilot's headphones. I was banging my head against the sides of the cabin, and the siren turned on above the level of the pain threshold of audibility. I de-energized the plane. There was such a state and the impression that it was about to explode. I de-energized the plane. The siren stopped howling, and with great difficulty I turned away from this cloud. After I moved away from the cloud, the shaking, terrible shaking, stopped. Where did the siren and the headphones come from? Why did the electrical appliances on Kopeikin's plane seem to go mad? All the radio compasses on our planes did not work. There was some kind of howling, whistling, clanging in the entire range of the automatic radio compass. After returning, the pilot was immediately called to the authorities. The manager swore at me that I didn't get in touch for a long time, although only a few seconds passed. I'm telling you, much longer than all this happened. There was such an impression, later when I analyzed it, that there was some kind of time shift. But a reprimand from the authorities is not the most terrible consequence of meeting with unidentified mysterious object. It is much more important, of course, not to replenish the impressive list of dead. On June 2nd, 1976, a disaster occurred in the 186th Aviation Training Regiment. The pilot and the cadet were killed. Half an hour before this fatal flight, more than 50 people at the airfield saw an unidentified object. Half an hour later, the guy's engine failed. During the investigation of this accident, Kopeikin was a member of a special commission. The main mystery that they tried to solve was why the engine of a perfectly serviceable aircraft then failed. The turbine did not rotate, although in all cases it should have rotated. During the research at the institute, it was found out that the engine was working properly and the turbine had to rotate. And yet, why did the engine fail? The question remained unanswered. Meanwhile, similar stories have happened before. There was cases in the Transbaikal military district when they tried to shoot an object, and it, by influencing the pilot, led to a disaster. Similar cases, they say, were in Vietnam. During the Vietnam War, the missile division fired at unidentified object, after which ammunition exploded on the ground. The appearance of UFOs was often accompanied by aircraft accidents. Also, the pilot and the cadet, after their fall and death, flew their mark on the locator for another 20 minutes from the plane at the same speed after their fall and death. The According to Kopeikin, flying saucers almost always monitor the military and the movement of the latest technology, and in case of a threat, they immediately shoot down the offender. I will say more. I personally observed objects on the radar screens that accompanied some cargo on our railway. Then, through special services, I find out that there were secret products. They usually appear where new equipment, new missiles and aircraft are being developed. If you want to shoot them down, shoot them. But they immediately put a phantom, and they themselves are on the other side. I personally observed spherical objects that flew behind passenger planes at a distance of 50-60 meters. What is also interesting is that the research of this phenomena suggests that there is a mind here on Earth besides our mind, and the mind is quite active, which interferes in our lives almost daily and everywhere, and affects every inhabitant of the Earth.